A tape of this quality deserves to be played in the most sophisticated of systems.
The cloney milkman. Hey guys, how's it going? Elliot here again. In today's video, we are going to be looking at something a little bit different. You guys are probably not used to seeing things in front of me which aren't games consoles, specifically handhelds. In front of me right now, I have a Sony Walkman and a clone. Before we have a look at the clone, let's have a look at the actual Sony Walkman itself. Now, both of these are in need of a Let's refurb, which is going to be really exciting for me because I don't really branch out often and do videos on things that aren't consoles, as I just mentioned, and especially Let's refurbs as well. This will be the first one that I've done on something that isn't gaming related. So this here, for you who don't know, for those of you who don't know, is a Sony Walkman. This is the first ever Walkman that was released, and I believe this is the second revision of it because the first one had Sony written up here, and then it just, I think it just said stereo here. So this is a little bit different, but this is still the first kind of model. This is just a slightly newer revision of it. This was released in 1979 in Japan, and it plays these little bad boys here. This is a cassette. This is of my favourite artist, George Ezra. I actually found this on eBay. He recently just released a new album, and someone was selling this on eBay. I think it was part of like a pre-release you could buy of this album. And yeah, they kind of just pop in there, and then you put two batteries in the back, headphone port on the top, and it's a really, really interesting model. So let's have a look at its clone. This is called the Cloney Milkman. No, this is actually called a... I think it's called like an Easy Sound something rather, TK101 or something. It's obviously trying to look like this. So there we go, you can see at the bottom there, it's called the Easy Sound Stereo Cassette Player TK1010. And then it even comes with this kind of like fake leather pouch, and this one's kind of not lasted quite as long as the actual original one, which is probably real leather to be honest, with a plastic backing underneath just to give it a bit more support. So this bad boy comes out. This one is a full metal build, aside from I think just this one piece down the side here, and this this piece of plastic here. Whereas on this, the whole thing's plastic aside from the door. So the door opens like that, and then on this one, the door opens at the bottom, and you get this really nice, smooth kind of hit. It's actually got like a proper mechanism here to open and close the door, like latch it shut. Whereas this is kind of just a pressure fit. But I recently just greased up the little part here, and also it was slightly broken. I just bashed it out with a hammer, and now it's kind of okay. So they both don't work, as I mentioned. I only got this today, and it kind of did work for a little bit, but then it stopped. One of the kind of typical things of these which break is the belts inside. They kind of over time have gone a little bit gooey, and they've lost their rigidity, their kind of tension. So when they spin, the little tiny like reels here spin as well, and then it goes against a little reed head just up there, and then that's kind of how it works. It's also got two headphone ports at the top, which is quite interesting. I guess it's because they thought that it's a bit antisocial just having one headphone port. Weirdly enough, this is on the back of the model here. So and it's also got an orange button, which is a talk button, because these things have built-in microphones, so that you could basically just play music to each other, and then press this button on the top here, and then you can talk to each other about the music and talk about how amazing George Ezra is of a singer-songwriter. You can see that the battery cover at the back is slightly broken. It's got like a little piece of metal here which is slightly bent out, and I think that's probably all it's going to need to just be amended, and then this should work fine. It's still got the little latch, which is something that breaks off quite a lot, so it's nice to have that. But yeah, really, really happy to have these in my collection. I'm not going to be doing loads of videos on this. It's just something that I've wanted for a while, and this was as seen in the Guardians of the Galaxy film. So let's put some batteries in and just take a look at what it does, or what it doesn't do, I should say. Okay, so let's just stop this and try. Okay. So when I press the play button, these kind of seize up, and that makes me think that it is the belt inside. And I have actually got a belt on order, so I'm going to be doing a Let's Refurb on this, as I mentioned. So pretty certain that that is going to be the only problem with it, although we're going to have to wait and see, I guess. And then with this one, interestingly, this takes 3 batteries. I guess they couldn't quite work out how to clone it completely because it takes more power. These are just some rechargeable batteries, so probably not the best things to use inside. So this one has a bit more life. You can kind of see the head is actually spinning on this one, and then when I press the rewind button it also spins as well. However, when you put a cassette in, it can't quite hack it, and it basically just kind of locks up and then spews the tape out of the top. Here, as I shall now demonstrate with my amazing George Ezra album. Oh god, no, actually this is probably not a very good idea really, is it? Okay, now it's not even doing anything. Okay, you can see the rewind function there. Okay, it's not going to do anything, unfortunately. But all the more reason for us to do a Let's Refurb. Hopefully you guys are keen to see that. I know this is something different to what you're usually used to, but I just thought I'd give you a bit of an insight on what I do, what I collect other than consoles and fake handhelds. What I will show you, if I just lift the camera up, we're going rogue here, that I am still collecting knockoff handhelds, mainly just the knockoff handhelds because I just like them the most, but I've got a couple of new ones up here that I'm not going to completely show you guys yet just because I want to save it for the video. And obviously I've got my Megaducks just sitting there looking absolutely beautiful, but it's mainly going to be these three here which all need refurbing or repairing, whatever you want to call it. So that's definitely something that I'm also going to be doing. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Let me know if you guys are keen to see those videos coming down the line quite shortly. So catch you in the next video, guys.